Wife confessed during a family dinner that she always wished she married my best friend, so I packed my things and left, but now she's begging me to come back. I'm going to use pseudonyms to protect everyone's privacy. My name is Ethan, and I've been married to my wife, Mia, for 12 years. We have 2 wonderful children. A son named Liam, who is 10, and a daughter named Sophie, who is 7. My best friend since college is Jack. We've been inseparable since we met, and he's been a significant part of our family's life. Last weekend, we hosted a family dinner at our home to celebrate Mia's recent promotion. We invited our close family members and, of course, Jack. The evening started beautifully. Laughter filled the room. The kids were playing happily, and the atmosphere was warm and joyful. After dinner, Mia stood up to make a toast. She clinked her glass, and everyone turned their attention to her. She began by thanking everyone for coming and expressing how grateful she was for all the support she'd received. Then her tone shifted. "You know," she said, "life is funny sometimes. We make choices, and we wonder what could have been if we'd chosen differently." A murmur went through the room, and I felt a knot forming in my stomach. She continued, "Jack, you've been a dear friend to both Ethan and me. Sometimes I think about how things might have been if you and I had ended up together." The room fell into an uncomfortable silence. My heart dropped. I could see Jack's face turn pale, his eyes wide with shock. My mother gasped, and my father looked at Mia with disbelief. "Mia, what are you saying?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She shrugged, seemingly oblivious to the gravity of her words. "I'm just saying that sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice. Jack and I have so much in common." Tears welled up in my eyes. I felt a mix of humiliation, anger, and heartbreak. Without saying another word, I stood up and left the table. I heard Jack call after me, but I couldn't face anyone at that moment. I went upstairs, grabbed a suitcase, and started throwing clothes into it. Mia followed me into the bedroom. "What are you doing?" she asked, sounding more annoyed than concerned. "I'm leaving," I said tersely. "I can't stay here after what you just said." "Don't be dramatic, Ethan. It was just a thought. Nothing's happened between Jack and me." I spun around to face her. "Whether or not anything has happened, you just told our entire family that you wish you'd married my best friend. Do you have any idea how that makes me feel?" She sighed. "Look. I'm sorry if it came out wrong. I didn't mean to hurt you." I shook my head, zipping up my suitcase. "You've done enough. I need some time to think." I packed a bag for the kids and went downstairs. The guests were awkwardly milling about, unsure of what to do. Jack approached me with tears in his eyes. "Ethan?" I had no idea she felt that way. "I swear I never." "I know," I interrupted, trying to muster a reassuring smile. "This isn't your fault." Jack looked relieved, but still concerned. "Is there anything I can do?" he asked softly. I shook my head. "I just need some time to process everything." Gathering my composure, I walked over to the kids. "Liam, Sophie, grab your things. We're going to stay with Aunt Sarah for a little while." "Why, Dad?" Liam asked, his eyes filled with confusion. "Just a little family trip," I replied, trying to sound upbeat. As we left, Mia stood at the doorway. "Ethan, please don't go. Let's talk about this." I paused for a moment. "We'll talk when I'm ready, Mia." At my sister Sarah's house, the kids settled in quickly, excited to spend time with their cousins. That night, after putting them to bed, I finally allowed myself to break down. Sarah sat beside me, offering silent support. Over the next few days, Mia bombarded me with calls and messages begging for forgiveness. I needed space, so I turned off my phone. I spent time with my kids, took long walks, and tried to clear my head. Jack sent me an email pouring out his apologies and assuring me he had no idea Mia felt that way. He even offered to cut off contact if it would help. I believed him. Jack had always been a loyal friend. A week later, I decided it was time to confront Mia. We agreed to meet at a local park where the kids often played. The autumn leaves crunched underfoot as we sat on a bench. A chilly breeze reminding me of the distance between us. "Ethan, I'm so sorry," she began, her eyes pleading. "I was an idiot. I didn't mean any of it." "Then why say it, Mia?" I asked, my voice steady. "Why humiliate me in front of everyone we know?" She sighed deeply. "I've been struggling lately. Work has been stressful, and I guess I've been feeling unfulfilled. I thought achieving that promotion would make me happy, but it didn't. And how does wishing you married my best friend fit into that?" She looked down at her hands. I think I was projecting my dissatisfaction. Jack seemed so carefree and adventurous. I felt like I was missing out. I stared at her incredulously. "So you thought confessing that in front of our families was the solution?" I wasn't thinking clearly. I realize now how hurtful and inappropriate it was. "I love you, Ethan. I don't want to lose our family." I took a deep breath, choosing my words carefully. "Mia, love isn't just about words, it's about respect and consideration. What you did showed a complete lack of both." She nodded slowly. "I know. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it up to you. I'm not sure if that's possible, I admitted. But for the sake of the kids, I'm willing to try counseling. Relief washed over her face. Thank you. You won't regret this. The following weeks were challenging. We began attending couples therapy, where we unpacked years of unspoken frustrations and unmet expectations. Mia admitted that she had been envious of Jack's lifestyle, but insisted she didn't have romantic feelings for him. I worked on expressing my feelings more openly, realizing that I'd often bottled things up to keep the peace. The therapist helped us develop better communication skills, but trust was harder to rebuild. One afternoon, Jack showed up at my sister's doorstep. Can we talk? He asked hesitantly. I agreed, and we walked to a nearby cafe. Over steaming cups of coffee, he told me he had accepted a job offer abroad. I think some distance would be good. For everyone, he said. I felt a pang of sadness, but also relief. I understand. I hope this new opportunity brings you happiness. He reached across the table and squeezed my hand. I truly value our friendship, Ethan. I never wanted to come between you and Mia. I know, I replied. Take care of yourself. As he left, I realized that while I would miss him, this was a chance for me to focus on healing my marriage without lingering doubts. Back at therapy, I shared the news with Mia. Jack's moving overseas. She looked surprised, but nodded. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe, I echoed. Months passed, and gradually the tension between Mia and me eased. We found ourselves laughing together again, sharing stories about the kids and enjoying quiet evenings at home. The scars were still there, but they were healing. One evening after the kids were asleep, Mia handed me a small box. What's this? I asked. Just open it, she said softly. Inside was a watch with a delicate infinity symbol. I want this to represent a new beginning, she explained. An endless commitment to you and our family. I felt tears well up. It's beautiful. I felt tears welling up in my eyes as I held the watch. It's beautiful. I whispered, my fingers tracing the delicate infinity symbol. Mia's eyes searched mine. Does this mean you'll give us another chance? She asked cautiously. I took a deep breath. Mia, this gesture means a lot to me, but rebuilding trust isn't something that can be symbolized by a watch alone. It takes time, effort, and consistency. She nodded earnestly. I understand. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Then let's take it one step at a time, I replied softly. She smiled, a hint of relief in her expression. I'd like that. In the following weeks, we focused on reconnecting. We continued attending counseling sessions where we learned to communicate more openly and honestly. Mia made a conscious effort to be present, not just physically, but emotionally. She spent more time with the kids, helping Liam with his science projects and attending Sophie's dance recitals without being glued to her phone. One evening, as we were preparing dinner together, Mia turned to me. I've been thinking about what you said, that trust has to be rebuilt. I glanced up from chopping vegetables. And I've decided to step back from some work commitments. The promotion isn't worth losing my family over. I was surprised. Are you sure? You've worked so hard for that position. She shrugged. Success means nothing if I can't share it with the people I love. I smiled gently. I appreciate that, Mia. Our conversations became deeper, more meaningful. We reminisced about how we first met, our early days of dating and the dreams we once shared. It felt like we were rediscovering each other. One Saturday we took the kids on a spontaneous trip to the countryside. We spent the day hiking, flying kites, and enjoying a picnic under the open sky. The laughter and joy were genuine, and for the first time in a long while, I felt a sense of wholeness. That night, after putting Liam and Sophie to bed, Mia and I sat on the porch sipping tea. The silence between us was comfortable. Today was amazing, I said softly. She nodded. It was. Seeing you happy means everything to me. I looked at her, the sincerity in her eyes unmistakable. I can see how hard you're trying, Mia, and I want you to know it's making a difference. She reached out and took my hand. I love you, Ethan. I love you too, I admitted, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. As the months passed, the wounds began to heal. Trust was slowly restored, not through grand gestures, but through everyday actions, sharing chores without being asked, leaving little notes in my lunch, listening attentively when I spoke about my day. One afternoon I received a letter from Jack. He wrote about his new adventures abroad, how he'd started painting again, and how the distance had given him clarity. He apologized sincerely for any unintended pain and wished me all the happiness in the world. I decided to write back, expressing that I held no ill will and hoped he found fulfillment in his new journey. It felt like closing a chapter, allowing both of us to move forward. Winter arrived, and with it came the holidays. We hosted a small gathering with close family. This time, the atmosphere was warm and filled with genuine happiness. Mia stood up to make a toast. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight, she began. This year has taught me the value of family, forgiveness, and love. Ethan, thank you for standing by me. I am a better woman because of you. I felt a blush rise to my cheeks as everyone raised their glasses. The clinking sound was accompanied by smiles and nods of approval. Later that night, as we were cleaning up, Mia pulled me into a gentle embrace. I meant every word, she whispered. She rested her head on my chest. I know. Do you ever think about renewing our vows? She asked hesitantly. I pulled back to look at her. You want to? Yes. I want to celebrate our commitment to each other to mark this new chapter in our lives. I considered it for a moment, then smiled. I think I'd like that. Plans were made for a small, intimate ceremony in the spring. Liam and Sophie were thrilled, eager to be part of the celebration. Sophie wanted to be the flower girl and Liam insisted on being the ring bearer. On the day of the vow renewal, surrounded by blooming flowers and our closest loved ones, Mia and I stood facing each other. The officiant nodded for Mia to begin. Ethan, 12 years ago I vowed to love and cherish you. I failed you once, but standing here now, I promise to never take you for granted again. You are my partner, my confidant, the love of my life. Tears shimmered in my eyes as I responded. Mia, we've had our ups and downs, but through it all, we've found our way back to each other. I vow to continue growing with you, to face life's challenges together, and to never stop believing in us. We exchanged rings, a new set to symbolize our renewed commitment. As we sealed our vows with a kiss, applause erupted around us. The kids cheered the loudest, their faces glowing with happiness. The reception was filled with laughter, music, and dancing. Watching Liam and Sophie play with their cousins, I felt a profound sense of contentment. Later that night, as we sat together under the stars, Mia took my hand. Thank you for believing in me, in us. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Thank you for proving that people can change. Life continued with its usual rhythm, but there was a renewed energy in our household. We faced challenges, of course, but we tackled them together, fortified by the trials we had overcome. One day, while sorting through old boxes, I came across a photo album from our early years. Flipping through the pages, I smiled at the memories. Mia joined me and we spent the afternoon reminiscing. Look at this one. She pointed to a photo of us at the beach, sunburned and smiling. I remember that trip. Our car broke down and we had to hitchhike back to the hotel. I laughed. She grinned. Best adventure ever. As we closed the album, she turned to me. Here's to many more adventures together. I nodded, feeling a deep sense of joy. Together. Our journey wasn't perfect, but it was ours. Through heartbreak and healing, we rediscovered not just each other, but also ourselves. The experience taught us that love is not just a feeling, but a choice. One we were both willing to make every single day. After a while she wanted to go to bed and I wanted to see more our memories. Then as I was looking for the other albums, a certain strange album came out which I couldn't recognize. As it had different images in it, the curiosity took the better of me, so I thought I'll have a quick look. There were photos of my wife together with me, and her friends, and there I nearly couldn't believe what I just saw, my wife with my best friend kissing each other.